Something subtle is happening here and most people miss it. This speech is not about turbulence, alliances, or Greenland. It is about control and, more importantly, where the speaker draws invisible lines without ever raising their voice. Watch closely.
The world has become markedly more turbulent in recent weeks. Events are moving fast. And in moments like this, what matters most is being clear about the values and the interests that guide us, even as circumstances change. The United Kingdom has a long history. Our values were not improvised. They were built patiently over time. And while we are pragmatic in how we pursue our interests, we are resolute in defending those values when it matters. So let me begin with the United States. The UK and the US are close allies and close partners. That relationship matters profoundly, not just to our security, but to the prosperity and the stability that people here depend upon. Under President Trump, as under previous presidents, we're determined to keep that relationship strong, constructive, and focused on results. And that approach is delivering. Through sustained engagement, we've seen significant US investment into the UK economy, running into hundreds of billions of pounds, supporting growth, skills, and jobs right across the country. Our cooperation on defence, nuclear capability, and intelligence remains as close and effective as anywhere in the world, keeping Britain safe in an increasingly dangerous environment.
At first glance, the speech presents itself as calm reassurance in a turbulent moment. The world is moving fast, we are told. Events are accelerating. But notice what happens immediately after that framing. Rather than responding to events directly, the speaker shifts the focus to values, not emotional values, not moral outrage, institutional values, stability, history, patience, continuity. This is the first overlooked detail. By grounding the argument in history rather than urgency, the speaker subtly slows the conversation down. In a moment when pressure favors reaction, the speech favors restraint. The United Kingdom is presented not as improvising, but as inheriting. Values are described as built patiently over time. This language quietly establishes authority, not through power, but through endurance. When the United States is introduced, the tone does not change. There is no confrontation and no praise beyond what is necessary. The relationship is framed as practical, transactional, and results-oriented. This is deliberate. By emphasizing delivery, investment, and concrete outcomes, the speaker avoids ideology altogether. The alliance is not defended because it is historic or emotional, but because it works. That framing matters later. When differences are acknowledged, they are not dramatized, they are normalized. Mature alliances, the speaker says, are not about pretending differences do not exist. This line does important work. It preemptively removes the possibility of surprise or escalation. Disagreement is treated not as rupture, but as maintenance. Now we arrive at Greenland.
We've secured good trading terms in key sectors, including cars, steel, aerospace, and life sciences, protecting British jobs and manufacturers. That is why we take the approach that we do, because it delivers concrete outcomes in the national interest. I talk regularly to President Trump, and my team is in daily contact with all the key figures in his administration. These relationships matter. They deliver concrete outcomes in the national interest. Mature alliances are not about pretending differences don't exist. They are about addressing them directly, respectfully, and with a focus on results. On Greenland,
Most commentary focuses on sovereignty and security, but the deeper move happens underneath. The speaker agrees that Greenland's security matters. Climate change, Arctic routes, strategic competition, all acknowledged, nothing is denied, and then comes the pivot. Despite recognizing every strategic concern, the speaker draws a firm boundary, not with force, not with condemnation, but with process. Any decision about Greenland belongs to Greenland and Denmark alone. This is the quiet center of the speech. Power is acknowledged, security is acknowledged, but legitimacy is treated as non-negotiable. The message is not aimed outward. It is aimed inward, at the rules that alliances depend on to survive pressure. When tariffs are addressed, the same pattern appears. They are not described as hostile. They are described as wrong for allies. Again, the emphasis is not emotion, but system stability.
The right way to approach an issue of this seriousness is through calm discussion between allies. And let's be clear, the security of Greenland matters. And it will matter more as climate change reshapes the Arctic, as sea routes open and strategic competition intensifies. The High North will require greater attention, greater investment, and stronger collective defence. The United States will be central to that effort, and the UK stands ready to contribute fully alongside our allies through NATO. But there is a principle here that cannot be set aside, because it goes to the heart of how stable and trusted international cooperation works. And so any decision about the future status of Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark alone. That right is fundamental, and we support it. Denmark is a close ally of the United Kingdom and of the United States, a proud NATO member that has stood shoulder to shoulder with us, including at real human cost in recent decades. Alliances endure because they're built on respect and partnership, not pressure. That is why I said the use of tariffs against allies is completely wrong. It is not the right way to resolve differences within an alliance. Nor is it helpful to frame efforts to strengthen Greenland's security as a justification for economic pressure. Such measures hurt British workers, British businesses, and the British economy. And that is why I've been so clear on this issue. A trade war is in no one's interest. And my job is always to act in the UK's national interest. That is why yesterday I spoke to President Trump.
Economic pressure inside an
European
alliance
leaders.
is framed as corrosive, not dramatic, but damaging over time. Workers, businesses, and trust are placed in the same category, things that erode quietly. The final section reinforces the pattern. Calls are made, leaders are contacted, NATO is included. There is no climax because the speech is not meant to escalate, it is meant to contain. Seen from this angle, the speech functions less as a reaction and more as a signal that lines exist. That cooperation has conditions, and that calm language can still carry firm limits. What makes this speech effective is not what it demands, it is what it refuses to dramatize. And in moments of turbulence, that restraint is often where the real message lies. If you found this analysis helpful, you're welcome to subscribe.